Project, we're going to show you part 3 of our electronic fuel injection system for the 1966 Toronado and our EngineStat Pro installation. Today we're going to install the Atomic EFI fuel pump, its electric fuel pump, and the Atomic EFI fuel return system. For a really good solid fuel injection system, you need of course an electric fuel pump which provides high pressure fuel to the throttle body that we showed you last time, which is niftily concealed underneath our custom modified but stock appearance air cleaner. You need this high pressure fuel pump, and you also need a regulator because the fuel will have a line from the tank to the pump, from the pump to the throttle body, and also a line coming all the way back, stopping at a regulator and coming back to the fuel pump. Coming back to the fuel tank. So there'll be a continuous loop, fuel going into the pump, from the pump through a filter into the throttle body, and then fuel returning back from the throttle body back in through a regulator into the tank. So we're going to show you how we put this all together on the Toronado, how we hit everything, how it's going to integrate really nicely with the EngineStat product. So for the fuel system, for the Atomic EFI, or basically any fuel injection system, you need two major components. You need the fuel return system, and you need the fuel pump itself. Fuel pump itself and the return system are sold separately. Very simple conceptually. Hopefully we can see this. You have, of course, the fuel pump, a downstream filter. Normally we also will install an upstream filter. Then returning, you have the regulator and of course line back to the pump. These lines back and forth to the pump and to the throttle body have to be rubber. They cannot be hard steel lines. On our installation, we're going to leave the hard steel lines in the car so that it'll look original, but we're not going to use them to transport fuel. So I'll give you an example. This little component here called the regulator is this guy, which will mount towards the throttle body. We want to mount this in the engine compartment as close as possible to the throttle body. The fuel pump will mount as close as possible to the fuel tank. The output fuel filter can be mounted anywhere between the fuel pump and the throttle body. We're going to mount it in the engine compartment so it'll be easy to maintain. We're also going to add a tank fuel filter or a fuel filter on the X of the tank, and we'll make this easy to maintain, and that'll give us filtering going into the pump to protect the pump, and of course filtering coming out of the pump to protect the throttle body. Those two boxes, the regulator and the EFI fuel pump, will go in the Toronado. We'll show you some of that now. So here we have installed our new high pressure fuel injection pump. You see the hoses will be hidden inside the frame. The original hoses and their tubing still be visible, so the car will be 100% original. A lot of people put the fuel filter, the output fuel filter, right here next to the fuel injection pump, but there's no reason for that. So we're going to mount our output fuel filter at the front of the car. And of course, back here are all the connections for the fuel pump. We made this U-shaped line of 3/8 inch steel tubing. So this is the input from the fuel tank, and this is the output, and of course there's the wiring. So in order to make a neat and reliable installation, we've created this little metal box which has holes drilled in it and is bent to follow the shape of the injector, and we even cut out a little relief in it there. So we're going to attach that right there. We're going to attach that right there. We're going to put sound deadening material in the ends and be able to have the fuel pump fully protected. We'll spray paint it black so it'll match the bottom side of the car, and it'll look stock and all original but still allow easy access in case we have to replace it, because we'll have these screws at the bottom folding that hold the protector there. protect it from rocks and dirt, etc. And it'll also help muffle any sound that might come from the pump. This pump should be fairly silent. We've mounted it to a very rigid part of the subframe right there. We don't want to mount pumps to the bottom of the floor because those vibrations will be felt inside. And of course we routed our lines through the frame so they're protected. Here's the box all installed.